So we're back with Dr. Malloch, who's so brilliant that he was invited to the Inside in Davos, and he's highly respected in the academic community. He's highly respected. He's written 18 books. We have a connection through Sir John Marks Templeton, who wrote the foreword for one of his books. I mean, just tremendous getting to know you, Dr. Malloch. But you laid out a serious problem. If you don't have Wall Street and individual liberty and free market capitalism, you don't have a reason for America. America doesn't exist. We just disappear. So it's existential for our future as Americans. So we've got the problem. How do we fix it?
Well, it took us a long time to get here, and I don't think it can be fixed in a snap of the fingers. Part of the fix, obviously, has to do with our political institutions. Part of it has to do with our overregulation and the need to deregulate. And I think a large part of it has to do with what I would call our moral ecology, or moral and ethical attitudes. And I'm very sympathetic to the work of someone like Michael Novak, who, of course, wrote about this in The Spirit of Democratic Capitalism. And I've written about it, of course, over my entire career. If you don't have the moral values that make possible our economic system, i.e. the capitalist system that we've come to appreciate in American history, which is unique, and it was there at the beginning of American history. And the founders knew this. I mean, Alexander Hamilton wrote about it in detail, and we have practiced that down the ages. If we don't really revisit, teach that in our civics classes, teach that again in our Sunday school. So it'd be nice if somebody attended Sunday school again. If we don't do that, then I think we're doomed to failure.
Well, you mentioned that it's from the beginning. I mean, Adam Smith didn't just write The Wealth of Nations. He wrote the Theory on Moral Sentiments. He was a moral philosopher. So it's absolutely, and in fact, we write about that and talk about that. We call it the economic war of the heart. Jesus said, if you're not faithful with your unrighteous mammon, you'll never be trusted with true riches. And basically, we've got to get that part right, that heart part right, before we can win the other battles that we're facing.
Yes, so it's not just an academic exercise, though, as much as I've been a knight in that battle. It's also a matter of practice. And one of my books called Doing Virtuous Business was made into a documentary, PBS documentary, actually. 15 million people had the chance to see it. In it, we cataloged 60 companies that embraced these virtues of capitalism and how they did that. Each one unique, each one distinctive, really difficult to duplicate because they all have their own corporate cultures, but they did it. And those stories need to be told, retold. Those stories are being replicated every day, week in, week out, by small and medium-sized enterprises, some of which get to be big enterprises. And we need more of those enterprises.
Well, one of the things we're doing here in the Economic War Room is we're educating the investor, but we're also training financial advisors at Liberty University to not focus on ESG, environment, social governance, which is a grab bag of leftist propaganda agendas, much of which is just a scam, but to focus instead on LSV, liberty, security, and values. So individual liberty, security, which could be personal or national security, and Judeo-Christian, Western civilization values.
Well, I'm very glad to hear about this because it's in fact much needed. I would refer your listeners to an article I wrote a couple months ago called ESG is a Scam. So you said it, I said it at great length, and I explained how it is a scam, how it's dictated, manufactured, and concocted, and how trillions and trillions of dollars now has been moved in that direction, university endowments and many investors. And we need to free ourselves from that bondage.